Hi there. My name is Michelle Nicolo Prentice, and you're listening to Mama's Lullaby podcast, where we celebrate you and your journey to and through motherhood, the good, the hard, and the scary, giving you a place to be nurtured and mothered. You deserve it. Welcome. Hey guys, it's Michelle. Please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe so we can keep you up to date on all the latest podcasts. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mama's Lullaby podcast. Welcome to my home and my kitchen. This is my friend Matt Rollins, and I'm so excited to have him here today. He flew in all the way from LA to do this podcast and do other things here in Nashville. But we have a long history of knowing each other and a longer history of knowing Mark because you met my husband when you were how old?
I think I would have met Mark when I was 17.
Yeah.
Isn't
that crazy? You were playing.
So I was a member of a big honky tonk band in Phoenix, Arizona, called J. David Sloan and the Rogues. Yeah. Mark was a member of a competing honky tonk band in Phoenix called
What was it called, Mark?
I can't remember.
Do you remember what it was called?
Mark remembers.
From off camera, he said, High Noon.
High Noon. High Noon.
I saw pictures of that.
So Mark was in High Noon. I was in J. David Sloan and the Rogues. And we actually, this is legend, we actually competed in, what was it, like the Marlboro Real Country? It was a battle of the bands in Phoenix. Yeah, and they won.
What?
Oh yeah, High Noon.
And
won.
who was playing?
I think it was political. I feel like
you were 17.
I was 17. I joined the band when I was 17 via another mutual friend of ours, a bass player named Matt McEntire, who I had met a couple years before. And then I spent 2 years in that band playing piano, and I'm one of those guys that plays one instrument. Your husband is one of those guys that plays all the other instruments.
He does, indeed.
So, including piano. So when my memory of it is that when I decided to leave the band after a couple years and get back on my I'm going to go be a jazz musician track and go to college. I went to college at Berklee College of Music in Boston, and Mark joined the band playing piano. Am I right, Mark? Yes, I get a thumbs up off camera from Mark. So yeah, a long history, because I'm old now. It's a lot of years ago.
If you're old,
it's
then
over
what does that
40
make
year
Mark?
ago.
Oh my
it's
God.
over. No, yeah, it's over 40 years ago.
Wild,
43 years ago, something.
Time
like that.
goes by fast.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I when I was writing these songs and I was thinking of who I wanted to write songs with, I would get names of people, and Matt was a person I got his name in my mind. And I
came to you.
We'd never written together before.
No,
I didn't really know if you wrote really per se. I mean, we haven't. You played on my record, My Baby Just Cares for Me.
Yeah.
So first of all, when you hear Matt's playing, you should just look him up. He's so amazing. Where can people find you? All over Facebook?
Oh yeah, I mean, well, I have a website. I have mattrollings.com as a website. I'm on Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as finding what I've played on,
So good.
I don't know how you would do that. There's
Google.
You know what there is? Here's something that's interesting. I have an Apple session player, Apple Music session players playlist that is searchable.
Oh, cool.
So if you search me on Apple Music, there'll be a playlist, and there's about 100 songs that I curated.
Oh, that's so cool.
That are just sort of a slice of the timeline.
Okay.
It's got a bunch of stuff.
Well,
on
you
it.
should. If you love music and you love incredible musicians and piano players, you need to check him out. Matter of fact, the first CD I heard of yours, Mark had it. It was a solo record. I bet I played that. I swear to you. I bet I played it.
The one from 1990.
200 times. I'm not kidding. I just play it. It's so good. It's so good.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, so I was so happy that you would write a song for moms, because you have a mom.
I have a mom.
And you have a wife who is a mom.
Yeah, indeed. I'm a father.
Yeah.
Which would make her a mother.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. And I just thought when we got together, we weren't really sure what we were going to write about exactly.
No, and I was thinking about, was that your title? I have a feeling it was your title.
I don't remember, honestly, but I just remember I wanted to talk about how we can talk about slowing down a little bit, calming ourselves, taking time for ourselves, because Matt and I were just talking. So his mom is like I've only met, I think I met your mom one time.
You have met my mom, yeah.
But she's a force, like most women are, a force. And, I said, does your mom ever take time to slow down? And you said, not in what, 80?
No, I mean, she's 86 and still working pretty much full time. And she's in the arts. And I am a believer that people in the arts need to keep creating.
There's no reason to retire from the arts. That's fun.
If I retired, I would do exactly what I do anyway.
There's no point in retiring when you're doing when you play for a living or you make music or create.
But she, in my memory of my mom, she was on all the time as a kid. So no, I don't really have an example of slowing down.
I don't. My mom either. My mom worked and took care of us. My dad was sick, so my dad was home, and my mom had to work, and we were young. I mean, and she'd come home and cook a 4-course meal every night, and I mean, I don't. And so I watched these women, and myself included. I think I was saying to Matt before we started filming, in Mama's Lullaby, what I really want to do is foster an understanding that it's important to take care of ourselves. It's important to take time for ourselves. It's important to do self-care because we are so programmed in a sense to take care of everyone. And I love doing that. I mean, it's hard to make me stop doing that, It's so natural, but sometimes what can happen is we don't take care of ourselves, and then sometimes we suffer the consequences of whether it's ill health, whether it's emotional struggles. I mean, there's a lot that goes on in our bodies as hormones change. I'm in past menopause now, so I mean, there's all that stuff that no one talks to you about.
Well, and you hit on it. I think women and girls in this culture are unfortunately, that's the lane. That's the traditional programming, is that's their job.
Right.
So to be anything but that is generally meets resistance, and my wife is no exception to that. And
well, you kind of get used to it too, right? Like she kind of handles everything, so you
but it doesn't, and then as she grows older, she realizes like, wait a second,
why am I doing all this?
Like what about me?
Yeah.
And so we're squarely in that process now, and I fully support her in that, and she's brilliant and has so much to give, and I find it's really interesting, us men, boys, we're just sort of encouraged to figure out who we are, what we want to do that, and she's sort of just at that stage of figuring out what it is she really wants to do.
Yeah. Well, I think when you become, for me, I can only speak for myself, but when I became a mom young, 18, and
good coffee, nice mug.
Yeah, you like my mugs?
Yeah,
they're so cute. You can get them on mamaslullaby.com.
Oh, I might have to.
But I think you get in this rhythm, and it becomes who you are.
Yeah.
And it's so, I mean, to me, raising my children, I will never regret raising my children.
Of course not.
I will never regret the things I didn't do. I didn't have a huge career.
Yeah.
I didn't go for all these things I could have gone for because I really knew somehow that I would never, and anyone who does can have a career and raise their children, more power to you. But I just was concerned that I wouldn't be able to really focus on them if I was really focused on a career. Yeah. And knowing what I know about the industry and our industry, I mean, it's pretty challenging.
It's hard.
In the beginning when you're building, it's very hard to.
Yeah, and I think, again, the difference between how it is for women and how it is for men is really stark. But regardless, I think, to really do that, especially now, it has to be your sole focus.
Yes, it really does.
To really succeed. I mean, I see really young people who are doing this. It's all consuming, and especially now you have to. Oh, the social media, do everything.
The social media. Yeah. I mean, I didn't post all week because I just
dare you?
I know.
I can't believe it.
I know.
No, I can't keep up with it. I get on these little spurts where I'm gonna, I'm old, and it doesn't.
It's even if you're not old, it's still hard. I mean, it's hard. I'm slamming the table. My husband's like, "Stop using your hands." I'm Italian. I can't help it. But anyway, I can't help it. Today's my Italian grandma's birthday today too, which is sweet.
I love that.
But anyway, so this song, we're going to read some of the lyrics of our song. Do you remember our song?
I do.
And
of
you
course.
sang on it too.
I did. Yeah.
I didn't know you sang. It was so sweet.
I don't really, but I can mask. I'm good with the technology. That's what it is.
It was great. You have a very lovely voice. Okay, so this song is called "Slow Down." And it says, slow down. I'll watch over you. Sleep now. Sandman's coming to sprinkle his sweet little dreams. When you awake, you will see that it's all right. Look outside at the sunlight, which we were talking about how important sunlight is, right? Yeah. Take a deep breath and count all your blessings unseen. The gifts that a new day will bring when you slow down. You know that.
That's gorgeous. It's got you.
So
you
good?
wrote that.
You and I did
that must have come from you.
You and I did
that's
it.
Absolutely
well,
beautiful. It's a poem.
So amazing.
Yeah.
We really worked well together. I was happy about that.
I was too.
But that thing of sometimes when you feel that you might have depression or you might have anxiety, and like after you, and at night it's always worse. Just like when you're sick with a cold or flu, you always feel worse at night. If you just give yourself that time to let it pass, and it will pass. In the morning, you wake up, it feels a little brighter, it feels a little more, right? Yeah. But it just having someone have your back, and a lot of women don't have someone to have their back. No. You know, there's so many single mamas out there, or maybe they just don't have the support of their spouse, or who knows what, you know. Paloma's obviously very lucky. I'm very lucky, but not everybody has that kind of a relationship with their spouses.
Indeed.
So if you don't, and I understand I've been a single mom, I've been a teen mom, I've been a divorced mom, I've been, I've been all the moms that I think you can be almost. And I understand it's hard to take time for yourself because there's so much needs to be done all the time. But you know what? That stuff will be there. Take a break when you can. It's so important. Yeah. Because when you don't,
it builds. It doesn't just dissipate on its own.
No, it doesn't.
It just I just remember with this lyric too that this is also, to me, a mother saying this to their child, which is so moving to me. Because the other thing, and I have a 15-year-old, and it is harder than it's ever been to be a kid these days, I think. And so to have a mother be able to impart this kind of wisdom to a child
early
that isn't about you're doing it wrong or you have to do this. It's just about it's okay. Yeah. Like everything is okay. You're okay. And just like you said, all this stuff you're worrying about, because our kiddo Luca, it used to be, and they're better about it now. They've they're 15. They're just growing up, becoming this amazing young person. But when they were little, it was always right at bedtime. When
of course,
all of the brain would just click on, and all of the problems would appear, and it was panic time. And this is actually exactly what my wife in different words would say. So it was it's lovely.
No, I think it works well for children. Even though we wrote this for moms, I play it for my granddaughter all the time when she goes to sleep. I have a friend of mine, Bo Sebastian. He loves this stuff. Like he's like, this is speaking to me. So it's not. I mean, it is written for moms, but it's really for everyone.
I think so.
Because everyone could slow down a little bit, right?
Oh yeah.
Everyone can stop and smell the roses. Let's see. Well, next verse. Do you need glasses to read it?
Yes, but I can do. Take time, smell the roses and unwind. There's no hurry. The world will keep spinning around. Let go, let your feet touch the ground. God will wish for the sweetest of sounds when you slow down. La-di-da.
La-di-da.
Very important lyric. I think I wrote that lyric.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. It was so sweet. La-di-da. But it is that thing of like, grounding ourselves, going out. I mean, I just was reading an article about how important the sun is for cancer prevention, actually, and how the earth, like getting your feet, bare feet on the ground. And how often do we do that? Get in the sun, let the sunlight hit your eyes. I mean, all these things. So one of the things with Mama's Lullaby that I really want to foster as well is health, taking care of ourselves, and ways in which we can do that, that don't cost anything.
I also just want to say in that verse, the one lyric, God will whisper the sweetest of sounds, is just from this, whatever your spirituality is, that when you slow down, there's room, and there's room for God, for spirit, for for that still small voice, for whatever it is for you.
Right.
But I mean, I know that's true in my life, that I have wisdom and intuition, but if I'm moving so fast, there's no room for it.
Yeah. So we don't hear it. We don't slow down long enough.
So just the notion of meditation, of mindfulness, of any of those things, any tools you can use just to try to create a little bit of space there's so much, that's available to you then.
Yeah.
And we think that I have to move fast to get everything done, but really it's the opposite, right? It's really that if we're able to slow down, then we actually have tools, have ability, have faculty that we don't have when we're just rushing around.
That's right. That's right. It's so true. And just
our deciders are better.
I agree, because when you're rushed, you don't always make the best decisions.
No, never.
For sure.
No, it's always in stress.
I'm a ready, fire, aim person.
You're a what?
Ready, fire, aim.
Ready, fire.
That's what my husband says. Ready,
Should
fire.
first ask questions later.
And it does, unfortunately, cause me some trouble sometimes.
That is really hilarious. I'm going to use that. Ready, fire, aim.
Ready, fire, aim. There she goes. But sometimes it works in my favor.
I bet you were hell on a school board, right?
I would be bad. You maybe not want me there, but
that's good.
But I do also say what I think.
Yeah.
And Mark will say, Michelle says what she thinks, so she knows what she's thinking. And it's just kind of true. I don't really, unfortunately, think before I talk a lot of the times, but I try to be authentic and honest as best I can. And so when I feel something, I try to say it. So what I want to say to you mamas out there, and anyone who's listening, because it's not just mamas who are watching this. I'm so happy to hear that.
Mamas, papas,
grandmamas, aunts, uncles, surrogate people who don't have children, but they raise other people. I mean, there's so much, our village of people.
Caregivers, 100%.
I mean, it's so important. My kids had so many great adults in their lives and I had a great adults while I was raising my kids that helped me, which is what we're trying to do with Mama's Lullaby, is give moms mentors or sage women who've been there, done that, to say, honey, I've been there. It's okay. It really will be okay. You're going to get through this. And, there's a lot of tough subject matters in some of these songs that we've written about. But at the end of the day, what's important is that you really, we all have that little child inside of us, right? We all actually are little children in these adult bodies. And we have to love that little child, because when we speak to ourselves, that child inside is listening to us. And so when you're cruel to yourself or you're upset at yourself, it's like you're talking to a little child, which you never would speak that way to a child, right? So it's like trying to be kind to yourself when you don't measure up to your own whatever you think you should do or be, giving yourself a break and even just stopping and taking some breaths. If that's all you have time to do, just that in and of itself is very, very helpful.
I agree.
Watching your mom do all the things that she does, what as a man now looking back, or your wife, if you could have said to them, hey, it's okay, what message would you give them?
To my mom?
To your
when
mom,
I was a kid? Wow.
when you were a kid, what you saw?
That's a big question.
If there is something.
I think what I would say is to let her know that I'm going to be all right.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think that so much of my mom's pain in her life has come from guilt about, and I grew up with an alcoholic father and a mother who was very much in that. The codependent role. The codependent in the dance, in the facilitating. Yeah, so
not with Mark, but my first husband.
So Mark has his own problems. I mean, we all
Indeed, he does have his own problems.
But I know that a lot of what she still carries around is guilt about not having done enough to maybe either protect us from that sort of storm, and so I think that would be the message: is I'm okay, and I'm going to be okay, and you did protect me.
Yes.
You absolutely.
And she did the best she could with what she knew at the time.
That's 100% right, and there was nothing more that she could have done.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing, because I think a lot of us carry guilt. I certainly have in the past. I've learned, I think I'm better now, but, things that you don't understand and you're trying to do the best you can, and you look back and you go, oh, that wasn't probably the best way to do that. Or your kid's like, you messed me up because you blah, 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 whatever. You're just like, I really did try my best.
To me, that's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, sort of evil about social media is that it's it's this place where you can go and look at everybody's perfect life,
does not
which
exist.
doesn't exist. But it's this whole thing of compare, despair.
Yes.
And I'm guilty of that. And I'm better than I used to be, but still, if I spend long enough time on the scroll, compare, despair.
Yeah.
It just kicks in, and I feel horrible.
Yeah.
And it's just. I think that is in this culture, and now more than ever with social media, we're given this message that if we're not perfect, that we're lacking.
Yeah.
And it's
which is so crazy.
Yeah.
Because we're here to learn. I mean, okay, this is my belief.
And well, go ahead. Your
No,
belief.
I'm just saying, I think for wherever we came before we were here, right? This is what I think.
Okay.
I think that we were whatever these spirits are, right? Our souls. And we went, and we knew everything at the time because we're in this space, wherever that is. And we're like, hey, let's go down and be physical and let's experience life, like all that emotion. Because when you're in, if it's heaven or wherever it is, it's like bliss all the time. So you don't have heartache maybe or any of that stuff. And we come here and we go, let's try and remember who we actually are. These beautiful, loving beings coming from a beautiful, loving creator.
And suffering is the door, it's or pain is the door, maybe. What's that saying, pain is mandatory, suffering is optional.
Yes.
But I feel like that there's a term I love, which is leading with your weakness, which is this notion that if I really don't want to talk about something, if I'm really ashamed or I'm really scared, if there's something, a secret I'm holding, I just know now from all these years of experience, okay, that's the thing I need to talk about. Right. I need to lead with that weakness, with as much of that vulnerability as I can. And then what happens? Intimacy happens. And suddenly I'm connected.
Right.
The God in me sees the God in you, the God in you sees the God in me. And it transforms.
Yeah.
So that
you're authentic. You're just being,
I'm authentic, and I'm also
you're laying out there that no one's going to stab you.
And I suddenly can drop this need
yes.
that I have to shoulder all this myself,
Yeah.
and I can realize, oh yeah, I forgot. I'm not alone.
Exactly. And people go, oh, you're not perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
thank God.
great.
Thank God somebody else isn't perfect.
And then you feel more, So that's, that's the thing. I think you're right. There's so much pressure. And I can't tell you, like watching these young girls that are having babies now, holy cow. I mean, the pressure on you girls, I can't even imagine. I look at I don't get magazines very much, but all these stars, models, whatever, they're pregnant. They're in these tight, sexy things.
Golly.
Well, and as soon as they have the baby, they're right back in their clothes.
Oh, right.
And
They have to get back to fighting shape.
Gosh.
So immediately,
come
right?
on.
Because the cameras are on. Because they got to keep posting.
I can't even imagine. So you know what? It's okay. You have a belly. You have stretch marks. I have it too. It's okay. And my husband loves me anyway. Yeah. It's like.
Well, and it's so much more than that. It's beautiful. I mean, other cultures. Mothers and then elders. I mean, they're revered.
Yes.
Not only for their wisdom, but for that they physically show the life they've lived.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's honored and
it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's
I love
really
that.
beautiful.
I just want to foster that. Love yourself. You are enough. You are beautiful exactly as you are. I'm doing my best too. I'm just like I struggle like anyone else does.
Yeah.
I'm getting older. I'm seeing lines, I'm seeing wrinkles, but I'm like going, but that's like the roadmap for my life.
You've earned every one of those.
I have indeed.
I mean, think what you had to do in your life to have those beautiful lines and all of that.
I want to write a song about that.
Well, that's a beautiful
Wouldn't
thing.
That be beautiful?
I think now that you've said it on camera, we have to write that.
I think we should write a song about that. Yeah, like I love
100%,
every line on every scar, everything.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
Matt, you are so awesome. I love you. Thank you for
awesome.
coming.
I love you.
And give your beautiful wife a huge kiss and hug from me and tell her she's doing a great job. So happy.
Raising her husband.
Well, we are all helping each other here, right?
Yeah,
I mean, we are. We are all raising each other in a sense.
Indeed.
Right?
Indeed.
Marriage is tough.
Oh boy.
It's tough. And parenting is tough. It shows you who you are and where you need to grow. Yeah. So your kids, yes, you need to
apologize to your kids.
Yeah.
Show them you're not perfect.
No, it's true.
Every time, just go and say, I'm so sorry. I completely screwed that one up.
You say you're sorry. It's so powerful. Yeah. And then they'll learn to apologize as well. Yeah. But anyway, thank you for joining us. Please, if you like these podcasts, like and subscribe and share. We're all the song Slow Down is on all streaming platforms. You can also go to mamaslullaby.com and download both volumes. They're amazing. And we have merch and all kinds of stuff. Check us out. Please come back again. Thank you again for spending time with us. You are so loved. You are so important. And God bless you. And have a great, great day. Bye.
Bye.
Slow down, I'll watch over you. Sleep now. Sandman's coming to sprinkle his sweet little dreams. When you wake, you will see that it's all right. Look outside at the sun.